You are using LAT in a wrong way. What's up? This is Director King Michael. I've been getting a lot of comment that people have been asking that they are using same LAT as I do, but they get different result. So today I'm gonna show you guys how beginners tend to use LAT and also how professional they use their LAT. But also I'm gonna show you the better or my secret way of using LAT. Before any further ado, let's roll the intro. First, I'm gonna tell you how a beginner use LAT and what are the mistakes they make. Okay, so beginners, let's say that they know the advantage of color space transform, so they can convert properly. They're gonna add one serial node, and then they use this color space transform just properly. Okay, they enter proper information of the camera. As for this camera was S-log3 scene, and the input gamma is S-log3. Okay, the output they mostly like to use Rec 709. Also, the output gamma they tend to use gamma 2.4. It's not wrong, it's very correct. But then after, they like to use this cinema LAT provided by DaVinci Resolve. So they're gonna add one serial node, and then they come to LAT, and then they choose the best LAT that they can use. Let's say example, this one, they applied, but soon after the application of this LAT, the footage is distracted. So most of them, they tend to come to the key and they reduce gain, so at least to reduce the weight of that LAT, and then they come messing up ahead, like, oh, maybe the gain is too high, so they're gonna add one node and then start cranking that LAT, their image, but they feel like up to here, when I turn off, this was before or after, here I'm good to go. Or maybe they want to add some saturation a little bit. They just see. So when they turn, this is before and the after, they see that I'm aware better from where I started. But this is not a better way to go. So I'm gonna take a snap of this shot. I'm gonna take a still of this shot, so we can compare later on. We're gonna grab the still. So this one was the beginner's version. So I'm gonna delete these 3 nodes. So out of beginner, maybe there is the other group. These are the intermediate. These, they know what they are doing, and they like to protect their image to the point there where they cannot break anything. Also, they tend to use 2 serial node, where the first one is they tend to put some color space transform and enter the proper information of the camera. Like this one was S-log3 scene, and the gamma was S-log3. But this, they know the advantage of using DaVinci wide gamut. So they're gonna convert here. They will not go to Rec 709, rather they'll use DaVinci wide gamut. Also, they're gonna use DaVinci intermediate. Same as here, they will come and put color space transform. So they're gonna use DaVinci wide gamut, same as DaVinci intermediate. Then here they're gonna convert to Rec 709 to get a standard look. They also know the advantage of gamma 2.4. Okay, then this intermediate one will add another node, and then what he's gonna do is that he will use this LAT as same as the beginner, but this one, since he is an intermediate, so he is a little bit more advanced. So here at the output gamma, he know also the advantage of sin on log. So he will use sin on log and see that, oh, my image has become well. So it's good. There is no problem here. But see what the problem or what a mistake they used to do. They tend to do some adjustment after the lat node, where here they use Kodak 2383. So they're gonna add one node and start balancing it, or and start punching it, like they're gonna use this waveform, and then they will start dancing with it, like pulling down some gain, pulling down some gamma. At least the image gonna balance, but it's not good. Let's say they also know the advantage of contrast. So they're gonna add another node, and then they're gonna punch some contrast a little bit. But what they are doing, they are not using the advantage of that davinci intermediate, since they are punching the image after the lat node, which is wrong. So the better way of using a lat, what the professional tend to use the lat, I'm gonna delete this 2 post node and end where this intermediate user node. It was correct, but what a professional used to do is that they divide their grade into 2 nodes. The post color space transform and the lat node will be at the very end of this chart, and these 2 first node will be at the very first, so as they can get a gap between these nodes. What they tend to do is that they do the adjustment prior to this like 709 node, or yes, prior to this CST node, so they can enjoy a wide dynamic range of the davinci intermediate. At first he gonna add 1 node or 2 node. This one will be for primaries, and the prior one is for HDR. Okay, what they do here that, so I'm gonna pull down some gain a little bit and balance a little bit, open up some gamma and pull down some lift. Okay, and then I'm gonna add another node for contrast. I'm gonna be fast a little bit for contrast, and then so I'm gonna use this curve and play with it. Make sure you massage your image very well. I think up to here is alright. Up to here I think it's fine, it's looking good. Okay, and then before more, I'm gonna come back to the HDR, and then I'm gonna convert this to HDR mode, so I can come here, and I like to open up some shadows to add more light, especially in this inner skin, and punch a little bit of some saturation in the shadows, so my image will look fantastic. All right, furthermore, what the professional tend to do is that they're gonna add some serial node for white balance. So here we're gonna use vector scope, and then we're gonna add a little bit of cyan, especially to background, so as to reduce those magenta used to be added by Sony. All right, almost here we are. So even you see this one, we are a little bit so much far from what the beginner has attained. This was a beginner's look, no separation, everything is being blown out, oversaturated. But see what you have been get in a very simple steps. See what you have been get. So this is the way professional tend to tackle their images when color grading. But also today I'm going to show you the secret way of using LUT. You know, most of us we use DaVinci Resolve, but it's not our first software. Most of us, we come from Premiere Pro, and we know what was lacking there. So there is a certain step that we can do so we can get better result than we used to get in Premiere Pro. So here what I'm gonna modify here is that I'm gonna delete this node that we used LUT, and then I'm gonna come back here. Then I'm gonna use this gamma 2.4 to get a standard look. Also, so I'm gonna add one serial node to show my advanced way of using LUT. So it's the same as the previous, that we're gonna add a LUT at the last node. So, and what I'm gonna use now is I'm gonna use magic bullet look. So I'm gonna type look here, and I'm gonna add it at the last node. And once I did so I'm gonna click edit so it can open a tab for magic bullet. Here in magic bullet there is a lot of tools, but as for today we are rushing. I'm not going to pass it through each tool, but what I'm gonna do is that I have several looks that have been saved previously. If you want me to do some tutorial for magic bullet in DaVinci Resolve, you're gonna comment down so I can do so for you. So for today I'm gonna click this look I created myself, so it's okay to start with. So this look was created by the combination of several LUTs. Today I'm not gonna explain it in detail, but if you need so, just comment below. Okay, then just after using this LUT, you see how much changes I've been able to achieve. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm going to correct it previously, not after the node of a LUT. So before the node is where I'm gonna put those nodes for correction or for building my look. So this node I'm gonna do for balances. Like, I feel like my gamma is too high, and punch down some shadows a little bit. Okay, this one is okay. And then here I'm gonna do my contrast, so I can balance more. So I'm just gonna dance a little bit with this image. Alright. Also, I feel like this image is kind of too saturated, so I'm gonna pull down my saturations. Here I'm gonna come here and pull down my saturations a little bit so I can balance it. Also, I'm gonna crank some contrast, but here I'm gonna adjust this pivot up to 335, and then I'm gonna crank some contrast. Don't do it too much. I'm gonna balance it a little bit. I think up to here is fine. Also, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do some white balance. Look like my image has been lifted away up toward orange, so I'm gonna add a little bit of cyan so as I can add more separation. But now you can see it's a way better than other way. So up to here. Also, maybe I can come here and try to push some black value because my image look a little bit washed out. All right, up to here is fine. Introduce, I'm gonna reduce this cyan, introduce it here. Okay, like this one is good. Up to here, I think we are way a little bit far. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reduce. I'm gonna do some noise reduction a little bit. Also here I'm gonna punch some chroma. Okay, I'm gonna add one serial node for sharpening my image a little bit. Okay, here is fine, and one last node for film grain. Here it is. All right, I like to use 35 mm so I can get a little bit of textures. All right, furthermore, I would like to add some HDR just for as a last step. I'm gonna pull down, I'm gonna add a little bit saturation, a mid-tone. Okay, I'm gonna add some light a little bit so my image become three-dimensional. Okay, here we are. Now you can see that we've been able to achieve a very clean look just by using this magic bullet, and it has become my best way of color grading, especially when I want to use this LUT instead of using this film LUT. So I tend to create my own look on magic bullet look, so it become easier for me, and I can store even more looks for future use. And this is how you can do. I beg of you that you should like this video, so YouTube gonna recommend this video to many others. But also, if you feel like this content is helpful to you, kindly just subscribe my channel so my journey become a little bit easier. Thank you.